On September 22nd, Her Majesty Farah Pahlavi attended the lecture of Dr. Leila S. Diba, joined by curator and gallerist Rose Issa at the Menard Fair in Paris, organized by Laure de Hauteuil. The talk was entitled Her Story and explored the rise of Iranian women artists from the pre-modern to contemporary eras. The talk focused especially on the post-World War II era, when there were increased opportunities for women to become professional artists, teachers, and gallerists. This was an era of cultural renaissance under the patronage of Her Majesty Farah Pahlavi. Her activities as patron, collector, and founder of museums and the Shiraz Art Festival provided inspiration to a generation of prominent women artists. The elimination of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of the terrorist organization Hezbollah, marks a significant step. A key figure in advancing the Islamic Republic's terrorist and extremist policies in Lebanon and the border region for decades, Nasrallah directly contributed to instability, bloodshed, and terror against innocent people. Due to his close ties with the Islamic Republic regime, he turned Hezbollah into a proxy militia for Iran to further its ideological objectives and exert influence over its neighbors. This bold action offers the people of the region new hope for a future free from fear and violence, after years of living under the shadow of terrorist threats. Severing the military and ideological influence of the Islamic Republic of Iran in Lebanon is a major step towards establishing peace and stability in the region, inspiring hope for the victims of oppressive and brutal forces. It has come to our attention that the Free Press organization is portraying Masoumeh Alinejad, also known as Masih Alinejad, as a prominent opposition figure against the Islamic Republic of Iran. However, it is crucial to highlight her well-documented history of collaboration with the reformist faction of the Islamic Republic regime, including her vocal objections to the closure of Khamenei's Facebook account and her support for policies like the JCPOA. Even after leaving Iran, Alinejad maintained connections with one of the two main factions within the regime, often acting as an extension of their political agenda abroad. Despite her current claims, her past actions and repeated instances of dishonesty raise serious questions about her credibility. Transparency about such figures is essential to foster an informed and accurate public dialogue. Mahbub Ramazani, mother of Pejman Qolipour and Rahime Yousefzadeh, mother of Navid Behboudi, have been sentenced to a combined 3 years in prison on Monday, September 23rd, following multiple arrests for seeking justice for their children. Their legal representative Reza Shafakha announced that Branch 2 of the Shahryar Revolutionary Court sentenced the two mothers to 6 months in prison for spreading statements against the government, and another 6 months for membership in the Mothers of the November 2019 Victims Group, and 6 months and 1 day for insulting Khamenei. Navid Behboudi, born in September 1996, was a mechanical engineering student who was killed by direct gunfire from government forces in November 2019 in the Qal'eh Hassan Khan area. Pejman Qolipour, born in 2001, was shot and killed by 5 bullets from government forces at the age of 18 in Andishe town, Karaj, during the November 2019 protests. Kokab Bedaghi Pegah, a labor activist for teachers in Khuzestan and a teacher in Izeh, has been summoned to branch 13 of the Ahvaz Public and Revolutionary Prosecutor's Office to present her final defense. She was previously tried alongside 11 other labor activists and despite being acquitted, her case was sent back to the appellate court. Initially, she was sentenced to a 3-month suspension from duty, which was ultimately reduced to a 1-month termination during the last school year. In July 2024, Ms. Bedaghi Pegah was again sentenced to a 4-month suspension by the Primary Violations Board and is now awaiting the final verdict. On Wednesday, September 25th, 15 Baha'i women were tried for the second time in Branch 1 of the Isfahan Revolutionary Court on charges of educational and promotional activities incompatible with Islam. These women, Mojgan Purshafi Ardestani, Nasrin Khadem Qahqarhi, Azita Razwani Kha, Shu'le Ashuri, Mojde Bahamin, Bushra Mutahher, Sara Shakib, Samira Shakib, رویا آزاد خوش، نوشین همت، شورانگیز بهامین، ساناز راسته، مریم خورسندی، فرخنده رضوان پی, and فیروز راستی نژاد faced legal action. This trial followed another on the previous day where 10 other Baha'i women were tried in the Isfahan Revolutionary Court on charges of spreading statements against the government. Back in May, each of these 15 women had been sentenced to 5 years in prison, fined 50 million tomans, banned from social services for 5 years, and prohibited from leaving the country for 2 years. The case was sent to the Provincial Review Court in late September 2024, but after the court highlighted procedural issues, it was returned to the Revolutionary Court for revisions. The government's pressure on these Baha'i women has been ongoing, with 12 of them arrested in 2021 and later released on bail. Additionally, the homes of 4 of them were previously searched by security forces. On Monday, September 23rd, agents from the Ministry of Intelligence of the Islamic Republic raided the home of Shaheen Mawaddat and his wife, Sudabe Mahdi Nejad, arresting the Baha'i couple. Shaheen Mawaddat, a Santur instructor at the Sedaya Honar Educational and Research Center in Gorgan, had his home searched, during which government agents confiscated several items, including mobile phones, electronic devices, books related to the Baha'i faith, and the home CCTV recorder. The agents also searched the electronic devices of other family members and filmed the entire process with 3 cameras. No information has been released regarding the charges or the whereabouts of Shaheen Mawaddat and Sudabe Mahdi Nejad. Seper Jafari Naimi, a Baha'i citizen from Yazd, has been sentenced to absentia to 24 months in prison by the Revolutionary Court of Yazd. The charges against him stem from social media posts related to the death of Mahsa Amini and his Baha'i beliefs. According to the ruling issued on September 22nd by Branch 1 of the Revolutionary Court of Yazd, presided over by Judge Akbar Fallahzadeh Abarkuhi, Mr. Naimi was sentenced to 8 months for propaganda activities against the regime and 16 months for insulting the leader and founder of the Islamic Republic. A source close to the Baha'i citizen's family confirmed that the charges were based on posts shared on his Instagram page concerning Mahsa Amini's death and his Baha'i faith. In a ruling issued by one of the appellate courts of the Islamic Republic, a woman has been convicted for refusing to have sexual relations with her husband. This judgment is pending review and approval by the judiciary. The ruling was issued by Muhammad Reza Asadi Yazdi, the head of Branch 42 of the East Azerbaijan Appeals Court in Tabriz. The decision confirms the lower court's verdict and is declared final and enforceable. Not only has the Court of the Islamic Republic compelled this woman to have marital relations with her husband, but in an unprecedented move, it has appointed a judicial officer referred to as a social worker to monitor the situation for 6 months. If it is proven that the woman disobeys the court's order, she could lose some or all of the financial rights she is entitled to under Iranian law. To enforce this ruling, which intrudes into deeply personal matters between husband and wife, the judiciary will oversee the woman's presence in the shared home using electronic monitoring tools to ensure her compliance. On the second anniversary of Farzin Lotfi's death, a powerful commemoration was held at his gravesite. Farzin Lotfi, a victim of the government's crackdown during Iran's natural uprising, is remembered as a martyr who lost his life standing against oppression. His death, labeled a state-sanctioned killing, reflects the harsh response by the regime toward those involved in the nationwide protests demanding freedom and reform. The ceremony was attended by his grieving family along with a group of freedom-seeking citizens who came together to honor his legacy. The gathering served not only as a remembrance of Lotfi's sacrifice, but also as a quiet yet firm display of solidarity with the broader movement for justice and freedom in Iran. These memorials are symbolic acts of resistance against the regime's attempts to suppress the memory of those who perished during the uprising. The presence of citizens at the event reflects the ongoing desire for change and the recognition that individuals like Farzin Lotfi are seen as heroes who gave their lives for the future of Iran. A group of freedom-loving citizens gathered at the gravesite of the late Ghazaleh Chalabi to commemorate the second anniversary of her in-state-sanctioned killing. Ghazaleh Chalabi, 33, was shot and killed by direct fire from the Islamic Republic forces in Amol on September 21, 2022, during Iran's national uprising. The ruling to dismiss Mohammad Hossein Sepehri, a pro-constitutional monarchy teacher and political prisoner, from the Ministry of Education has been confirmed. Ali Akbar Rashidi, the head of Branch 25 of the Court of Administrative Justice of the Islamic Republic, has rejected the appeal of this teacher and political prisoner. On Sunday, September 22nd, retirees and pensioners from the Isfahan Steel Company held a protest demanding an increase in their pensions and voicing their concerns over poor living conditions. The protesters, frustrated by the rising cost of living and inadequate pension adjustments, gathered to call for immediate action to address their financial struggles. They are seeking fair wage increases to ensure a more secure and dignified life in retirement. This demonstration is part of a broader wave of protests by pensioners in Iran who feel their financial needs are not being met amidst ongoing economic challenges. On Sunday, September 22nd, a group of citizens with disabilities in Tehran held a protest in front of the Program and Budget Organization's building. They were demonstrating against the challenges they face in daily life and the lack of implementation of Article 27 of the Law on the Protection of Persons with Disabilities. This law, designed to support the rights and well-being of people with disabilities, has not been fully enforced, causing frustration among the disabled community. The protesters aim to draw attention to their struggles and demands.